Hi, I'm Tim Parry, Senior Content Manager with Multi-Channel Merchant. I'm with Ken Godskind from Smartbear. He's the Vice President of Monitoring Products for the company. And we're talking at IRCE 2013 about some of the e-commerce trends, especially as it comes to customer service and customer experience. Ken, as we head into holiday 2013, what should merchants be the most concerned about when it comes to providing customers a great customer experience online?
I think that retailers today really need to be focused on, as it relates to customer experience, the user experience portion, which defines user's digital relationship with the organization, and really managing that from all perspectives. It's not just the website today, but also the other channels like mobile and tablet that are affecting the business and your holistic relationship. But more importantly, in general, as it relates to customer experience, is trying to strive to really provide something unique, differentiated, and to put it in marketing terms, something that users would find delightful. That's really the differentiators today in the marketplace, is delivering that great experience. And so there's a series of things that retailers can do to really be ready to do that. There's a lot of things around store design and flow through the store, which are really the soft side of user experience, which happen up front, kind of before your store is deployed or as revisions to your store. The other aspects of customer experience that are important to make sure is that the actual raw performance and what the user perceives in terms of how responsive your website is during their interaction with it. So one can optimize that through a number of techniques. There are some basic tools out there like YSlow or Google PageSpeed that allow you to have free recommendations for how to improve your web performance, and measurement tools like Smartbear's alert site allow you to triangulate web performance and user experience by looking at the traditional network perspective of performance, by looking at the browser timings that are delivered from the web browser, and also by understanding performance from the perspective of the user's eyeball. When does the user begin to see the page paint, and when does the user see the page stabilize in the viewable port? Beyond that, just a couple of other recommendations that I have are to perform some load testing leading up to peak load times to understand what sort of traffic do you expect this year, and how does your store respond at those various traffic loads across all of the different business functions. And also benchmarking. So it's important to perform benchmarking so that you could understand how your site performs relative to competitors in your own category, and also relative to yourself in terms of historical periods.
With the tablets and smartphones being added to the cross-channel mix, how important is it to drive that consistency across those devices as well?
So I happened to catch ComScore's presentation of the Q1 2013, end of quarter analysis, and they presented some very interesting statistics there. Of course, I can tell you from my personal experience that we are really in a multi-screen world. If you walk into my house on any given night, you might find my oldest or my wife in front of 3 different screens. Facebooking and texting or messaging on their phones, playing Words with Friends on their computer, watching television on the other hand. But the point is, there's some research from Google that shows that 65% of purchases are started with a search on a smartphone and then finished on a computer or a tablet. So while the overall e-commerce numbers are showing that mobile is only accounting for about 11% of the gross revenue in the marketplace today, if you look at the data that ComScore presented, what they talked about, and they presented some very interesting data that showed in the top 50 internet retailers, that those that are well established in the tablet and smartphone arena from a content perspective are getting about a 45% higher level of engagement with users. And these days, engagement is results in a lot of cases.
What are some of the things you're seeing these cross-channel merchants do to attract the mobile shopper? And do you think, I mean, you mentioned the path to purchase is beginning with mobile but ending on other devices. How soon do you think that path to purchase is going to start and end in the smartphone?
So that's a really interesting question. If you analyze that data that talks about 11% of the transactions are happening on mobile, it does appear that the majority, and I don't have the hard number on the top of my head, but I would venture a guess around 80%, my educated estimate. About 80% of the transactions are really happening on a tablet rather than a smartphone, although we're doing a lot of transaction beginnings on the smartphone where we're starting the purchase or investigation process that we're finishing on another device. And actually, I would tell you that probably that trend is likely to continue until the digital wallet becomes something that's a reality, because it seems that it would be a little bit tedious to sort of sit down and try and enter in your credit card number on your smartphone. I know I'm all thumbs, literally, on my iPhone, but I rarely can put in anything without a typo. So it seems like that trend for now is going to continue, but I would still say it's too important to ignore, given that so many transactions start there. But where I really see more things starting to happen in the retail space with the smartphone is for retailers who are doing bricks and clicks, and how they sort of enhance the in-store and holistic customer experience by bringing together digital and in-store promotion and formats together so that they work in congruence with the user to maximize results for the store.
You know, as we think about that aspect of bringing all those together, especially in the bricks and clicks, do you think that's something that could help? I know showrooming is one of those. It's great for you, or it's the worst thing ever. But do you think this is something that could help, like, almost level the playing field when it comes to showrooming?
So that's really interesting. There's a couple of pieces of research that I've looked at recently. We hear a lot about showrooming. Probably the biggest thing, so there's something I saw that Best Buy talked about recently about showrooming, which is one of the things that they're doing to combat showrooming is to be able to match those prices. But another thing that they're doing is that, if people are in your store and they are showrooming, the best tool that you can have to overcome the showrooming is to have very talented store employees who are able to add some value on the spot and help convince somebody to purchase now. I mean, if you're paying for all that retail floor space and people are just coming in to play with the buttons and then they can see that it's 20% cheaper online, what motivation do they have to buy it in store unless your store personnel are adding additional value?
Excellent. All right, well, Ken, thank you so much for your time today at IRCE. I appreciate it, and good luck with your presentation today.
Tim, thanks for the opportunity to talk.
You're welcome.